Hello, artists. March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. Now that we're close to the end of March, we're going to be creating this adorable lamb portrait based on the work of artist Brooke Ring. Brooke Ring works primarily as a painter, but today we're going to be creating our lamb in chalk pastel. So here's my version of the lamb. One of the things I really like about Brooke Ring's lamb is that she uses lots of different colors in order to create her lamb. A lot of lambs are white or black and white, but you can see this is a very colorful spring lamb. Lambs are also a great symbol of Easter and rebirth, new birth. So we're going to be creating our lamb instead of with paint with chalk pastel. And here's my version of the lamb. So to do that, you're going to need a piece of paper, and I recommend a piece of light colored construction paper for this project. You'll also need your chalk pastels and a pencil and some tissues because you can use that to blend your pastels, and also a very damp paper towel for your fingers. So sometimes our fingers get a little dirty. We want to wipe it off on the paper towel. So the first thing we need to do is to draw our lamb in pencil. Let's look at the shape of the lamb's face. So basically the top part of the lamb's face is a circle and then a smaller circle below. And the ears are like long ovals. So my piece of paper is slightly bigger than the picture of the lamb here. So I'm going to make my lamb's head a little bigger, and I'm going to just draw a rough circle. It does not have to be perfect. And then I'm going to draw a smaller circle below. The next thing I'm going to do is draw the two long oval ears. Now, the lamb's body comes down all the way to the edge of the page, and it's slightly on the outside of the head. So I'm going to put that a line there, simple line there. I'm going to draw the line of the lamb's back going off the page. I'm going to draw this shape, which is basically the lamb's chest coming down, and it connects to the leg here. And then here's the other leg on this side. And then the bottom of the lamb here. So we have our basic shapes, nothing fancy. I'm going to draw a line going across so that I can put the eyes in the right position. And lamb's eyes are pretty far on the sides of their heads. So I'm going to draw the basic shape of the eye here. And then I'm going to draw the nose right down here at the bottom of my circle, and the mouth. So there's my basic lamb face and shape. So now I can start drawing with my chalk pastels. First, I'm going to take my white, and I'm going to use the white as a base color for my lamb. So I'm going to take the chalk, and I'm going to use the side of the chalk, not the tip of the chalk, but the side of the chalk, because I can cover more area with the side of the chalk. So I'm just going to put that on top of the lamb's face all the way down, and it's going to cover up a little bit of my pencil line. That's absolutely fine. Then I'm going to draw it down on the side of the lamb, and then I'm going to make it where the chest is, the other leg, and then the back. So I have a basic white base for my lamb. All right. Now you're going to notice when you do that, you're going to get some of this leftover chalk dust. It's very important that you don't blow that chalk dust away, because if you do that, you're going to get chalk dust everywhere. So I recommend doing this project on a piece of newspaper like I have, or you can lay down some paper towels to put underneath your work, because what we're going to do to get rid of this chalk is basically tilt our paper and just kind of tap it. And there you go. so we don't have as much chalk on our picture now. Now, the next thing I want to do is just get going with color. And it really doesn't matter which color you choose first. And you don't have to copy Brooke Ring's picture exactly. I'm using that as a guide, but I'm not going to necessarily make the exact colors. But I see there's quite a bit of blue right here in the face and some on the chest. So I'm going to take my light blue and I'm going to start adding that to the face of my lamb. And it's just going to basically be wherever I feel like putting it. If I want to copy this picture, I can, but I don't have to. I'm just going to add it to my lamb. Wherever I see there might be some blue, some in the body. All right. I'm not going to do my background yet. There is blue in the background, but I'm going to wait to do that. All right. Now, I do have some extra chalk, but I do want to spread this a little bit. So you can take a tissue and put that over your finger like this. And I am not going to wipe because if I wipe, I'll wipe the chalk away. But basically, I'm just going to very carefully tap the color. And that's going to blend that pretty quickly because you've already got some white there. So you just want to tap it. I'm not rubbing. Don't rub at all because if you rub, you could actually rub a hole in your picture. All right, next thing I'm going to do is choose some darker blue and put that on my lamb. And I can add that under the lamb. And there's some darker blue over here on this side too. And I'm going to take my tissue, you just use another spot, that's where the light blue was, so now I'm going to use the dark blue, and I'm just going to tap it to blend it. I am not rubbing. Tap, tap, tap. And you can see it will blend very quickly. Okay, now I'm going to use some yellow on my lamb. So I'm going to add some yellow up here towards the top of its head. I notice it's got some yellow at the tip of the ears. Tip of the ear, some yellow. A little bit around the face here. Down the side of my lamb. Maybe on his chest. The legs. And once again, use a new place on my tissue and I'm just going to tap it, not rub it. Don't rub. Just tap gently. Okay, now I've got a little dust. So once again, tap it off. Okay, next color. I think I'm going to use this light green, spring green for a spring lamb, and add that to my lamb. Take my tissue, find another clean spot, tap it. Okay. Now I notice that there's some dark underneath the lamb's neck, and that is to add some definition to the face. So I'm actually going to make that. I'm going to make it a little darker. This is a brownish orange color here. Maybe add a little bit here to the side of his legs. And maybe a little along his body. That's up to you. Okay, on the ears. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to add some darker green. You can see this is a rainbow lamb. It's got lots of color. So we can add all those cool colors. And I'll add some green over here on the side because it looks like grass to me. Maybe a little over here too. All right. Now I'm going to look at my picture and see what else do I need to add. Well, I think I need to add a little more light blue here. And underneath, maybe over the lamb's eye. So you see, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just adding the color and gently patting the color so it blends a little bit, but it doesn't blend away. You want to be able to see all of the beautiful colors that you're adding. You don't want it to blend away. Okay, what about pink? There's lots of pink in the ears here. So I want to add some pink. That's fun. Maybe some pink on the body too. All right, find another spot on my tissue that's clean and pat and blend. Don't want to rub, just want to pat. It blends very quickly. And I'm going to tip it just because it's got some extra on there. Now I am going to work on my background a little bit. And I noticed that there's pink in the background or near the ears on the other side, but most of it is kind of blues now. And there's green for grass and there's some darker blue here. I already have that. So I'm going to use my lighter blue and I'm going to use it on the side of the chalk to fill in the background. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect because we can use the tissue to blend more. But you just want to basically get it in there as your background. And whatever color paper you're using, whatever light colored construction paper you're using is going to show through. That's okay. That makes it look cool. Okay, we're patting around. May use a little pink now around just a little bit because I don't want it to get confused with my ears. So I don't want to make that dark pink, just light pink. Okay. Going to tilt it one more time, tap it. Here we go. Now, the last thing I need to do is add black to my picture. And I waited to add black because black, if it gets smeared in with your other colors, will take over those colors and you can't erase it. It's a very, very strong color. So I'm going to now use the edge of my chalk, just the edge, and I am going to make the eyes. There's one. Just with the edge. There's two. Now I'm going to make the nose and the little mouth. Okay, now that I have my features, I can also use the black, as you can see here, to bring out the contours of the lamb's face a little more. So I have to be careful about that. I don't want to add too much, but just enough so that I can see my lamb's face. And I'm just using the edge of my chalk. I'm going to put a little black here to define the ears, maybe just a little on top. Light lines, not heavy lines. A little more here. There we go. Maybe I'll make a little bit of a line to define the back here, a little bit to define the sides of my lamb. But remember, make your lines light. You don't want them to be dark. You're using just the very, very edge of your chalk. There we go. All right, so looking at my lamb, I don't see the fuzzy part of the top of the head here. So I think I want to add that a little bit. So more white. I'm going to press a little harder this time and make some texture at the top of the head. So it looks like the fuzzy lamb. Uh, Lambs have that fuzzy, fuzzy, soft hair. A little more on the sides here too. Just a little bit to add some more texture to my lamb. All right. I think that looks pretty good. Here is my lamb for March, the end of March, and for Easter. I hope you enjoyed this project. Remember, if your fingers start getting dirty, mine have gotten a little dirty, you can always wipe them with the damp paper towel before you go on to the next color. I look forward to seeing your creations. That's all for today, artists.